Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, people. As you can see, we're already back for episode 22 of Blue Diaries. Got Javon today, got Charlie today, got Jem again, and we've got Ads again. But unfortunately, Ads, like you saw the other day, people, he dislocated his arm. Do you want to tell the people what's happened, Ads?
Yeah, I mean, so man dislocated his arm on Monday doing shoulder single dumbbell presses in it. So for anybody that has any shoulder issues, hey, I'm begging you, just use the free weight machine in it. Like the machine is your friend, bro. Because if you do the dumbbell and you go heavy weights like I was doing, just being silly, and then your form's slightly off, you're gonna bend backwards and you're gonna have a very rough time. So our recovery is looking at 6 to 8 weeks, and I mean right now I'm having to like lay down in bed because I'm just mad uncomfortable in it. So can't be on camera today, and unfortunately Chelsea hasn't made my mood any better either. So it's a bit mad, but we're here to talk about it, man.
100%, man. And Charlie, man, you was at the game the other day, bro. How you feeling, first of all, man?
You know, I'm all good, bro. All good. Pleasure to be here as always. Yeah, disappointing, obviously, on Tuesday night. I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, no, we need to. Something's got to change because, yeah, we can't keep going on this run and not winning. 5 games is kind of mad now.
Yeah, it's mad, Javon. It's mad, man. It's not something that any of us would have predicted. I know I'm seeing a lot of Einsteins now coming out saying, you see, I told you this was going to happen. But these same people were never going to predict us to get 0 wins out of 5 against Ipswich, Fulham, you know what I'm saying, Everton, all these teams, bro. How you feeling right now, Javon, man?
After the 2 shows I did earlier today, I'm a bit calm. It's just we all expected a blip to come along. We just didn't expect it to happen in this run, and I'm now concerned about what's going forward. Hopefully, we can get a 3 points against Wolves, and then we can start to change our fortune.
You see that same line, bro? I've said it a couple times already, bro, and nothing's happening. You know what I mean? I've lost confidence in this team, man. You know what I'm saying, Jem? Like our defense right now, you know, we know the defense isn't the greatest, but for me, I was speaking backstage, Charlie and Javon as well, was talking about the fact that we know our defense isn't levels, but it's not as bad as what people try and make it out to be. And for me, right now, during this period, the biggest issue that we've had is just our lack of clinical edge, bro. I'm seeing we've scored 4 goals in our past 83 shots in the past 5 games. That is a shocking, damning stat, Jem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, big up you guys in the chat. Everyone in the chat, smash the like, share it out. Big up the panel that's here as well. Yeah, it's mad. I looked at the stats of the last game round. It was 26 shots, 10 on target against their 7, and they obviously scored 2 of them. So it goes to show how damning it is when you look at it from a creative standpoint in front of goal. But you know, the big thing for me for that game was the second half. It's not only that we created and we were missing, and we know we've got that problem. It was the fact of how quickly we lost control of the game and how inactive our manager was again. You know, that's the thing for me is we lost control of the game. We couldn't get into it. And the pressure kept building on our defense, which let's be serious, we all know is not great. It isn't a great defense. We know that we leak goals. I don't really like the way that we concede the goals that we concede, because I look at them and I sometimes feel like they're just very easy goals conceded, you know, like, but, you know, it's a hard one, isn't it? It hurts. It hurts watching the amount of chances that we have in front of goal, especially of a certain individual that I'm sure we'll be talking about again with chances, you know, and it's just again 2 points dropped when everyone else drew, barring Arsenal. Yeah, sucks, mate. Sucks.
100%, man. And before we break down the game, people, like I keep reminding you lot, 24th of January, Hippodrome Casino. This is going to have me, judges, Dan Potts. You've got Lawless, the West Ham fan, and you've got D, the Palace fan as well. £10 entry, exclusive giveaways there as well. You got a special menu offer for a burger and drink. So people, make sure that you're there, man. I want to meet as many people as possible in person, and I would love to see some Chelsea fans there as well. Like I said, it's my birthday on that day as well, people. So I've given up my evening to be there. So make sure that you lot are there as well, man. And listen, we've got 33 people in the house coming in. Let's see who's in the chat right now. You got Ishi in here. It says big up, my bro. You got Nehemiah as well. It says sporting directors can fuck off, bro. We're gonna speak about them today. Don't worry, man. Because a lot of people think I don't get onto these directors. I get onto them when it's warranted, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got Conjurus in here as well. It says big up, boys, big up, man. And Aya says, where's Jimmy? I think Jimmy's actually ill, you know. I only just found out that he's ill. So Yeah, if he's fit, he'll come on. But if not, then yeah, I don't think he'll be on today. AJ might be on a little bit later as well. So we'll see what happens there. But listen, going into this game, I was quite wary of Bournemouth because we know Bournemouth, they're gonna press the fuck out of you, bro. Yeah, we saw what they did to us when we played them away. And at the Bridge, again, I knew they were gonna come out to play. But looking at this game, I actually captained Palmer on my fantasy, right? Because number one, Palmer loves Stamford Bridge. And number two, he loves playing in a lot of space. That's exactly what we're giving us in that first half, right? In that first half, we could have been at least 2-3 goals up. I would think of the Jackson header towards the end of the first half. And even after he headed the ball, Malik tried to kick it with his left foot, some flimsy shot, it goes to the side netting. You know what I mean? I can think of the shot that he had outside the box that hit the post. I can think of Enzo outside the box. Good attempt, good save from the keeper. You know what I'm saying? I can think of Palmer outside the box himself. He didn't really bend it there. He kind of hit it straight at the keeper, right? So looking at that first half, I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking, bro, you should be at least one goal up. I'm looking at the game, Charlie, because you were there, like I said, and I'm like, bro, like, this is a game where I'm thinking 3-4, finally we're going to get this monkey off our back. You know what I mean? Because Bournemouth, they haven't got Evan Nilsson, and they're just looking a little bit depleted at the minute. But then, boy, oh boy, second half, again, we die. Yeah? The space in the midfield when Lavia came off was unbelievable. It looked like I was watching Pochettino ball again. There was so much space in the middle. They were just running through our midfield. And every time I saw Bournemouth attacking us, it honestly felt like they were going to score. You know what I mean? So I'm not even surprised that they got in a situation where Semenyo was getting taken out by Caicedo. Because Caicedo's not a right back. His natural instinct is to try and take a man out as if he's a midfielder. That was poor defending from him, right? Poor defending. Semenyo was very smart there. Got in between the ball and the man.
But Lavia gives it away in a build-up to that as well, quite poorly.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You know what I mean? And then obviously for the second goal that they scored, Semenyo, listen, Achimpong's completely isolated. For me, we're going to talk about Sanchez. We're going to break down Sanchez in that situation because we was actually talking about this yesterday. It would have been a top save if he made it, and it was definitely a savable shot. I know it was a bang on his left foot, but if you actually break down Sanchez's positioning for the goal, it was not good enough. And boy, oh boy, thank God we had Reece James for this game because once again, he showed a little bit of world-class quality and managed to get us at least a point, Charlie. Do you know what I mean? Let me go straight to you, bro, because like I said, you was at the game. What did you think of that first half, first of all, man?
No, bro, but the first half was really good. You know, some of the best football we've played, created a lot of chances, obviously score a really nice goal. We'll get on to Jackson, but for his deficiencies, like the stuff that he does in the build-up, I think we all know is excellent. You know, he was brilliant in the build-up for that Palmer goal, and then he also did another thing where he picked the ball up sort of near this, sort of in the middle of the pitch, and he went on a bit of a run, turned a few defenders, and hit the post. So I haven't really got any complaints from Jackson sort of outside the box necessarily, but obviously inside the box, the thing that is the day job, as it were, putting the ball in the back of the net. It's a little bit. He goes on these. I've noticed, right? He goes on these cycles where he'll go on a run of games where he scores quite a few goals, and then there'll be a run of games where he doesn't score at all, and then probably in a few games' time he'll go on another run again where he might score 3 or 4 goals in 5 or 6 games. So he's kind of like, he's one of these players that sort of is like, I don't want to call him a purple patch player, but he's one of them that will just go through patches of scoring, then won't score for a while, then goes through another patch of scoring. But no, bro, I thought the first half was really good. But unfortunately for us, like the last 5 games are following a very familiar pattern where we start well, we take the lead, we create a load of chances, we don't score them. I don't know if we can't maintain the intensity that we're playing with, because for the second half drop off is alarming. Like particularly in this 5-game run, the drop off in the second half has been major. We're not able to replicate the intensity that we're bringing in the first half, and then mistakes are seemingly creeping in as well. So I don't know whether it's a concentration thing. I don't know whether it's a fitness issue where we can't play at the intensity for that intensity for 90 minutes, but. The blueprint for Chelsea games right now is very, very simple. Score, create a load of chances, miss them, drop off in the second half, make sloppy errors, concede goals, and drop points. That is you could pretty much predict exactly how a game's going to go at the moment. And that's never a good position to be in as a team.
100%, bro. And listen, I've been tweeting the same thing now for 3 weeks, right? I said the same thing against Palace. If we don't take our chances as soon as the second half starts, Charlie, we're going to lose this game and we're going to drop points. I said the same thing against Fulham. And I said the same thing against Bournemouth as well, Javon. You know what I mean? he's spot on, bro. But what did you think of this shape, first of all, Javon? Like in the first half, when you saw Lavia was basically playing as like a lone six, you had the back three there. Caicedo at times was going a little bit further up, as you can see over here. And then Enzo was picking up the space in the left half space there as well, and Cole kept punching it into him. What did you think of the shape? Like, did you enjoy what you was watching that first half, bro?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily have a problem with the shape because for me the first half was fantastic, barring the finishing. Enzo was on it that day, especially when it started to play through him more regularly. Enzo was on it. Palmer was picking up space. Even Jackson, his build-up play was good. Well, I'm sure we'll get more into Jackson's overall performance, but I didn't necessarily have a problem with the space and with the shape. Plus, one of the biggest thing is Acheampong in that right back space steps out wide. He seemed comfortable in that first half for me. It wasn't like when Dasasi had to step out wide, everyone's panicking. I felt a bit of comfort, and I didn't really necessarily have much worries in the first half. For me, it's all about the finishing. Everything else up to the finishing, it was good. I don't know what other guys think, but everything else up to the finishing was good for me in the first half.
100%, man. And what is it for you right now then about the finishing ads? Like, what would you say? Like for me, I'm looking at the finishing. I'm looking at the technique that some of these players are using in our team right now. That's one of the big issues that I'm seeing, bro. Like, for example, like Jackson's header, that was literally right in front of the keeper. He had so much of the goal to aim at. He headers it straight at the keeper. And then the left foot, you know what I'm saying? I can think of in the box. We were literally speaking about this last week against Palace. The ball comes to him in the box. He tries to volley it, and it was the worst technique. You know what I mean? Even again against Palace, when he tried to do some little Travella shot, inside the box when he beat Richards. I think that centre back's called Richards, right? When he ran past him, again, it was the wrong technique. So for me, the main problem I'm seeing in our finishing ads is the technique that these guys are using when they're finishing, bro.
100%. It's a technique issue. It's an execution issue. We just have a lack of specialist finishers in the team. And that's the issue when you profile a lot of these guys as, attacking young, talented wingers or whatever. And obviously Jackson played a lot of his time in Villarreal as a winger. He only started to transform into a bit of a striker towards the end of his time there and had a decent scoring run. But the fact that he's been trusted now 2 seasons in a row as our main striker, it's ridiculous. But nowadays I just blame Jackson less because he didn't choose to be the main guy here. The owners chose him to be the main guy here 2 seasons running. And it's crazy that it's the case because we will see it. Like we were seeing it even last season, we're seeing it this season. There's times where his shooting technique resembles somebody that plays in like a playground at like a year 4 level. Like their left foot shot after the header is just ridiculous. Like it's actually scandalous. But again, why I have a bit of patience with someone like Jackson is because that first half performance, shooting aside, was like sublime. It was almost perfect. Like again, these are all the woke things nowadays that we like in strikers, where it's like things like pressing, tackling, link-up play. That's all great, and it was amazing. But of course, the main thing that you need from a striker is to finish chances. And again, he had 2 huge chances, and he fluffed them. There was even obviously a chance where he hit the post, which is a great run, but again, he missed that one too. So it's unfortunate that's the case. But again, we haven't got a clinical striker right now, and again, our wingers, they're not necessarily putting up big numbers. There's only Palmer that we can look at and say, okay, he's going to consistently get us goals, but that isn't enough, especially when, like we've been saying, our defense is leaky. We're going to give you a chance, especially second half, we're going to give you a chance, and more often than not, teams are taking those chances.
100%, bro. And even if you look here, for example, Charlie, before you come in, look at this, bro. Yeah, this is Madueke. Madueke's pass was shit, right? It was shit.
Yes,
but even so, you wrap your foot around it, Go look at that technique that Bruno used when they scored against Arsenal the other day. The pass wasn't great, but what Bruno did was quality in that situation because he wrapped his foot around it.
Can I jump in really quickly before you go ahead? Cool. The pass wasn't the ideal pass, but there's no way you're 2-3 yards out from goal and you get a pass and the pass is on a baby hop and you side foot that. How in mighty hell do you side foot that? The instinct, if you've ever played football, the instinct when you see a ball like that is you swivel your hips, you connect with your laces, and you rifle that with your body, with putting your body over the ball so you don't skyrocket it. Look at his body language after he shot. Bro, come on, man. Yes, the pass was shit, but that should have been way, way, way better.
No, 100%.
You're 2-3 yards out from goal and you have a hop. You have a hop where you can Rifle that? Come on, bro. Come on.
100%, bro. That's what I'm saying, Jem. It's the technique, bro. It's the techniques, Jem, that he's using right now.
It's the look at his positioning, like what Jay just said there. Look at how much he's leaning back already. What happens when you lean back and you kick a ball? It goes up. It goes up. His positioning is just wrong. It literally is just wrong.
I tell you what else you've got a problem with, right? Is I look at this the other day. We've scored 41 goals this season, right, in the league, and Jackson and Palmer between them have scored 23 of them. So they've scored over half of the goals between them. Jackson stopped scoring now, and we're once again reliant on Palmer for goals. So we've got an issue where Jackson stopped scoring, the wingers don't score. The Enzo's goals from midfield are kind of stopped a little bit. That was a bonus, really. And now we're back to a team that is solely relying on Cole Palmer to score goals. Like, no wingers are contributing in goals. Jackson stopped scoring, and we don't have goals from midfield, really.
And to add to that as well, our manager's not utilising his bench.
Well, and there's that as well, yeah. So
he's playing people in bad form.
Yeah, so we've got a collective issue.
In bad form.
Yeah, we've got a collective issue where basically none of our attacking players are contributing other than Cole Palmer.
Yeah, it's
consistently.
true.
Consistent. The key word is consistent.
Yeah, consistently. Right now, none of them are contributing other than Palmer.
And the thing is, I'm seeing a lot of people trying to cook Cole Palmer at the minute. They're talking about, in the second half, where is he? And to be fair, listen, you can say that because, yeah, his performances have dropped off. But if you've actually been watching our games, I can think of the Ipswich game. I can think of the Palace game. Him and Enzo in both halves, right? Well, Enzo in both halves actually has been very good. But specifically in that first half, they were so influential in those games. Yeah. And even the other day again, they are being let down. They are being let down right now by the attack. The attack is the major problem right now. I know our defense needs to improve, people. I know our defense ain't levels. But I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the past few games and said, oh, Levi was at fault for that. Or this guy was, Cucurella was at fault for that, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking, probably the poorest defender we've had right now, Ads, is probably Gusto. Other than that, there's no one in our defense that I'm looking at right now. That's been a massive liability. We know Disasi is a bozo. That's why he's getting sold. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm not really looking at anyone these past few games in defense to say you've been a major problem. You know what I'm saying? Apart from Gusto.
Yeah, no, I agree. But this is why for me, it's like it's an overall system issue. Not even a system issue. It's overall like issue of this squad, that the actual way this squad's been built. Like, again, why is 4 teams talking? I don't get it. But anyway, we'll leave them alone. But listen, for me, as much as I love this squad, and listen, watching that game first half, I was loving the football. I was almost breaking my shoulder again, celebrating just some of the moves I was seeing, the nutmegs, the skills, the flair. It was great. And I was watching that thinking, damn, on our best day, we might just be the best team in the league. But at the same time, our best day only seems to be for half a game of football. And second half, we always fade. And again, it's actually quite poignant that it's Reece James who turns up with a big moment. He shows the personality in that moment to score because, again, I love Palmer. But second half of games, especially like last 20 minutes of games, we've been seeing it consistently. His performances fades. Again, you're right, Don. For Ipswich, pretty much the whole game he was on point. But other than that, we've seen it consistently, whether it's Fulham, whether it's Everton, whether it's Palace, where he gave the goal away. Like, we've seen it consistently where it's not just him. Players like him, Jackson, Enzo, the performances just naturally faded these guys. And part of it is, like Jem said, it's down to the squad rotation that Maresca's not been doing, which he needs to do a much better job of. Again, fixture pile up, all these things. But I think a big part of it is just the mentality of these guys, where a lot of them are young guys and they need that guy who's in their prime, who's in their mid to late 20s, who can actually lead by example on the pitch. And right now, we don't have enough of those guys. So yeah, we play all that great football and we can score beautiful goals. But when we need to get it out the mud in the second half and we're in a gunfight, we're not able to do it. We're not able to rise it consistently, and we drop so many points.
And another thing as well. Another thing as well. The missing of the chances has a double-edged sword of it, because if we see the brilliant first half we had, right, in the second half, we know we don't have the best defense, or we know we can't see out games. So it's gonna play on the player's mind when they can't finish the chances. So that because the second half starts, cool, we come out weak, we keep missing chances, and eventually, the other team is gonna smell blood. The other team is going to say, you know what? These boys can't defend for shit. These boys can't defend to save their lives. If we apply pressure, we will get something. And if we consistently miss chances, it's going to affect everybody out there on the pitch. Because I'm pretty sure if we scored the second or the third goal, Bournemouth's heads would have dropped, and we would have had an easy day at the office. Whether we conceded
just to that point as well, like we've seen it in the past, whether it was the Villa game or the Brentford game. At least when we go 2-0 up, we then have like that bit more of a cushion, like, and we just see the game out. But again, I feel like the Brentford game was quite similar to the Fulham game, to the Palace game, to this game where we're doing well. I just think with Brentford, we actually got the second goal, and that kind of just meant like we had a bit more of control. But this game, when we're not getting a second goal, we know we haven't got like a Chelsea under Mourinho level defense or a Conte level defense. We haven't got that, so.
That's literally what Charlie said. That's literally what Charlie said backstage. Spot on, bro. And I can see there's someone here that's calling me out here. Let me put it up here. The call that says no way is Don defending that defense, bro. I will defend the defense right now, right? Because this team, the attack especially, right? Like Ads has just said, the way we're playing right now and missing all these chances, we know our defense is not levels to hold up 1-0 leads. We know this, bro. Therefore, we need to outscore teams. I've been telling multiple people this season, for me, I'm more convinced of our attack than I am our defense, right? So with that in mind, we need to be outscoring teams because I just don't trust this team to be keeping clean sheets. Now, what you're saying here, bro, you're spot on. It says we have 4 clean sheets this season, Don, but Jackson is the reason why we're losing. Embarrassing from this fan base. Bro, all the best chances in the past 4 or 5 games have dropped to Jackson. Let's be real. Most of them have dropped to Jackson. Yes, he's our striker, but end of the day, the reality is they've dropped to him, and a better striker there, Isak in those positions, Charlie, is fucking burying those chances, bro. Yeah,
but the thing is, I think we spoke about this before, right? Both things can be true. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah.
The reason why we're dropping points is twofold. We're dropping points because we've got 4 clean sheets the whole season, and we're dropping points because we're missing chances. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Both things can be true. And in this case, both those points are true. We're dropping points because we don't keep enough clean sheets, and we're dropping points because we miss too many chances. It's not one reason or the other reason. It's those are both reasons why we drop points, and that is a collective responsibility all round. That's a collective responsibility for the forward players to be doing better with their chances, and that's a collective responsibility from defence and the team in general. We've got to defend better. So, like, both points are true. They're both reasons why we're dropping points.
Can I just add quickly as well? That obviously when we talk about the attack, I feel like part of that is also the whole team is how we attack, and I feel like while we give the team credit for how we attack and create chances, part of that is on the defense for how we break lines and progress the ball up the pitch. I think defensively we talk about the whole team as we defend, because I look at the goals, it's more actually on the midfield and the attack why we conceded those goals. Again, the Lavia mistake, he was brilliant first half, but one bad mistake in trying to play out from through the press that led to that chance. Obviously, Caicedo makes a bad tackle, should never make that. And then the second goal for me, that is where like you just see the weakness of this team compared to some of our rivals and compared to the Liverpools and the Arsenals and whatnot. Because when we need to suffer in games and we need to be the team that isn't on the front foot pressing, but actually needs to be the team that's sitting in the mid block, trying to just be tough to beat for 5-10 minutes and actually just contain and like hold off pressure. We can't do that. Like that was just one throw. They had like one throw in. And then one pass right through our midfield. Like Enzo, who had a great game, for me still man of the match, but like he didn't cut the passing lane at all to Semenyo, their most dangerous player, and he has a 1v1 action point. But that was just one pass that did that, and that should never be the case. So again, for me, it's on the whole team as a whole. Like we don't know how to defend these. We don't know how to be solid just for 10-15 minutes in a game just to hold out. And again, that's on the players. It's also on the manager, because at some point, Enzo, Maresca, you gotta like find out. Again, it's a repetitive pattern. Even from Brentford where we won, we're seeing the same pattern of these games. So why is the manager not doing more to address this? Because I saw some things addressing it, but he's not doing enough, because you don't go 5 games not winning a single game when we're playing this good. Under Potter, under Poch, when we were playing horrible and we had dead attackers, by all means, we didn't deserve to win games. That's cool. But these games were deserving to win, and the manager is seeing the same patterns but not addressing it.
100%. Even against Palace, we spoke about that game. I said, for me, in that second half, what I would have done, Jem, is dropped Enzo a little bit further back to play more on the pivot with Caicedo, right? Because right now, I don't think Lavia was fit for that game. We haven't got Andre Santos to bring off the bench, for example. That's where you go look at the squad planning right now. Because the other day, let's say we had an Andre Santos that could have come on for Lavia. I think we'll win that game comfortably, because he'll bring a lot more balance into the team.
Not even just for Lavia.
I keep telling people, Jem, Caicedo's not an octopus. I love Caicedo. He's been very good this season. He's been excellent, in fact, this season. But if you leave him in that lone 6 by himself with Reece trying to help him here and there and going back into right back, there's going to be holes against a Bournemouth, bro. Right?
Yeah.
So Maresca mid-game, for me right now, he is not reacting to the tactical tweaks that are being made by the opposition. It's because he's not really trusting the bench. He hasn't really got the profile of player that can, you know, solidify and help that midfield other than Caicedo right now, because Lavia is not dependable. You know what I mean? There's these little tweaks that he's not really making. He's not being proactive or reactive right now. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of just trusting the players and they're letting him down. They're letting him down, bro.
Yeah, with Caicedo, I don't think he actually had a good game, if you're my honest opinion. And he looked very leggy. Even when we moved him into the second half into the middle, he didn't look at it, man. Them gaps were just there. And you could see that we needed something else. And I agree with you. If we had a Santos, if we had someone, even a Leslie, someone that could just come on and just drop in and help him in that position, you know, even if it means taking him off for 20 minutes at the end because he's just not at it, which I thought he wasn't in that game. I keep saying, but you know, it hurts at the moment, but it hurts more when your manager's doing Poch style tactics, which is nothing, you know. So, and that's what he's been doing for the last four or 5 games. It's the fact that he's been sitting there and he's not really been doing much. And to be fair, he did make substitutions in this game because he was forced into him, wasn't he? Tosin came on at a later stage, didn't he? And
Tosin was the first after Reece Lavia. Tosin was the first. You go 2-1 down, and your first thought is to do a like-for-like swap at centre back when you've got Nkunku, Felix, Neto, and Guiu all on the bench. That didn't make sense to me, because for me, if you're doing a like-for-like swap at centre back, you're either changing your centre back because they're having an absolute nightmare, or you're changing them because they're injured. There's no other reason to be changing. My first substitution after we went 1-1 would have been Tosin, just because. And again, I'm not trying to dig at Josh because he's young, and I thought he had a decent game, but I felt like we needed someone with a bit more height in there, a bit more strength in there to deal with the way the Semedo was running through in between the lines, because Caicedo at that point was struggling.
Josh is cool, I can't lie. Josh is fucking
yeah, but you saw what Tosin did in that game when he came on. I remember the ball came in the box and he threw his body in front of it straight away, and he should have been we needed that defensive mind, you know, that centre back mind, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, he made that right. So then he brought Felix on, and to be fair to Felix, obviously I'm not his biggest fan, as everyone knows that, but he came on and he made the difference. But I'd rather him use Felix. I'd rather him use him than not use him. You know, it's at that point where we sometimes just need something different. And Felix, to be fair to him, he's the one that won the free kick that led to Reece James's goal because of a good and neat bit of skill, wasn't it? So
I'm glad you said that, Jim, because that's one of the things that I speak about, Charlie. Yeah, like the little intangibles, right? When you're bringing on the likes of Felix, these are the sort of players that can win you fouls, Javon. You know what I'm saying? These are the sort of players that can win you penalties. These are the sort of players that can pick up the ball from deep and just run with it, progress it from A to B, right? And bring a little bit of energy and make the opposition fall back a little bit. Because Bournemouth could smell blood. Palace could smell blood. Like, bro, I feel like I'm living through the same week right now because I'm just speaking about the same shit, Charlie, bro. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no,
it's true. Do you know? Look, he obviously don't trust the options that he's got available to him, or he's just really stubborn. Probably a combination of the two. But for me, right, I cannot understand when you are losing a game of football 2-1 at home, you are waiting until 10 minutes left to swap any of the attack, which in the second half was clearly struggling and clearly needed switching up. Like, what? Like, I'm not a huge fan of João Felix, similar to Jem, but you've got players on the bench that have got the ability and the capabilities to unlock something. So why would you not use them, or why would you only give them 10 minutes where, let's be real, no one's doing anything in 10 minutes, particularly when you're chasing a game. No one's doing anything. So that's my big thing with him, right? I don't
try and explain that though. Can I try and explain that? And I get why you're bemused by that. And listen, maybe I've taken too much medication today, so maybe I'm a bit loopy still. But I see some of the logic of why. I mean, to be honest, I think I see some of the logic of why Maresca went down that route. And again, I don't agree with his man management of that game. But I think for me, he made the early sub with Lavia, Reece James, fair enough. But then I feel like Josh, who had a good first half, second half, he was giving a lot of sloppy balls away. A lot of sloppy balls. He was just early in our build-up. He was just trying to fizz it through, and it wasn't really landing on anybody. And I think one of them actually led to the second goal, where that's like he kicked it out of play, and then they did the throw, and then it led straight to the goal. And I don't think Josh defensively was that bad, but again, like Jem said, we needed just a bit more physical presence in our box. Again, Tosin did make a good block, and I felt like we just needed that bit more experience there. But again, while I hated the fact that your first attacking change, which was the bring of both Felix and Neto, came in the 80th minute. I hated that, but you have to bear in mind that we had already used 2 of our substitution windows. We used one on Reece James for Lavia, the second one in like the 55th minute for Josh and Tosin. So now we only had 1. So we had 3 subs left, but only 1 window to make it. So Maresca was kind of just being quite. He wasn't brave enough to make the sub early enough, and I feel like he should have made the sub. You should make the sub early enough, but he was just afraid to make it.
You can't make better use of them sub windows. I don't think we're using the sub
He should
windows
have then brought somebody on with. Bring on Felix with Tosin.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. For me, like Javon, one thing that I've got an issue with right now, right, with this whole thing with Jackson and Gil and that. Let me get something straight, people. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have signed Mark Gil, right? I would have signed an experienced striker that's ready to come in and play right now. But we're dealing with the reality, people. The reality is that is our only natural striker, yeah? And I don't like how Jackson is eating up all the minutes, is consistently missing chance after chance, and he's not getting punished for it, yeah? He brought on Gil against Palace for like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying, Javon? What's he supposed to do during that time? 5-10 minutes towards the end of the game. Palace is just going to sit back now. He ain't got enough time to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So how I'm kind of looking at it right now, the way he's managing Jackson, it's not really working because you're trying to play him into form, but he honestly feels like he's getting worse by the minute. I know his overall game in the first half was good away from the finishing, but in the second half, dropped off again, and he played 90 minutes this game, innit? He didn't even come off this game.
Listen.
We only made 4 subs.
Listen.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Like, try something different. We spoke about the technique and the finishing. Let me just share another example here as well, yeah? Let me share this one because this is mad, people, yeah? Hold on. We've actually got a natural striker right now and we don't want to use him. Look at the body shape for this one here. This is actually some primary schoolboy shit. Let me share it right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about, yeah? This was after the header, right? Look at his body, bro. I know he's not left-footed, but bloody hell, bro. Bloody hell. A natural striker there.
He should be, bro, to be honest, he should be scoring off the header. Like, pick a corner and aim for it, and then the rebound, you have to convert that. Listen, I was on a earlier stream, right? And I said this, and I'm going to say it again. When you have Jackson as the only striker, right, and you don't trust Gil, you cannot try to play these players through bad form because they're not at the level to be able to afford them that, right? What do I mean by that? I simply mean they're not experienced enough. They don't have the experience or the palate to be able to know, okay, this is what I do when I'm on a bad form. This is what I need to adjust when I'm on a bad form. There's no one for him to bounce off of. So you know what happens? He's just doing whatever he can until he gets that goal, until he can go again. Gil is not the savior. Gil is not the option. But still, there's no punishment or there's no consequence for Jackson not taking care of these chances. Because you can create all you want. Yeah. Creating means nothing when there's no conversion.
This is the problem, right? And this is now where our decisions in the summer are coming back to bite us hard, because the decision to pull the plug. By the way, I'm not doing any revisionism and saying that I knew anything about Samu or that I was on board with the Samu signing, because I wasn't really. But the decision to pull the plug on a deal that was agreed for a striker with a profile that would have suited us to sign Felix is now biting us in the arse hard, because not only is it affecting the team, it's also affecting Jackson himself, because as Javon said, he's got no competition for his place. He knows whatever happens, he's going to play, because Nkunku's out of the picture. His head's in Munich, and Giyu's 18 and he's not trusted. So whatever happens, he's going to play, and that's no good for any player. So this decision, so basically we're now paying the price for, in hindsight, an awful summer window.
Exactly, bro. The squad building right now. Listen, again, it's led us to a situation now where Nkunku is on the verge of leaving because we've signed a João Felix who's eating up Nkunku's minutes in the midfield, and then you're having to play people out of position, Gem, because again, Nkunku's not a striker. Then I'm looking at Nkunku when I'm at games, and it just doesn't look like he's interested, bro. He's scoring goals. He's not even. He hasn't really got that. What's the word? He hasn't really got that what's the word? Relationship with the fans. Even it kind of reminds me of Sterling, bro. I feel like that with Nkunku because he's just not enjoying his time here. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
How can he though?
Of course
exactly.
he's not. Of course he's
not.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
How can he?
Well, he can't because he don't get the minutes. And if you ain't going to get the minutes like a player, listen, at the beginning of the season, I guarantee 90% of the Chelsea fan base were excited for the potentials of Christopher Nkunku playing and actually seeing him, in the team, contributing to goals and this, that, and the other. Like we were looking at
this season as well.
Yeah. And for whatever reasons, and it's funny because Maresca's been asked about Nkunku earlier on in the season about why is he not getting as many minutes. This was earlier on, and he turned around and he just said Nkunku in pre-season was a player that I couldn't not drop, but the Nkunku that we have now, I can't get him in. I can't get him into the team at the moment. That was literally his words. Like, I can't get him into the team, and it's like, how have you got to that solution? And it's when you look at the last couple of games specifically, like. What have we missed? What are we missing? What are we lacking the most? Just someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, the one player in your team that can provide you with an option to put the ball in the back of the net out of all of our attackers, and I still say it to this day, is Christopher Nkunku.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask another question, if I may? Do you think it was the wrong decision to take the path that Maresca took with Nkunku at the start of the season? We're not trying his best to find a place in the squad for him, i.e. maybe moving Palmer to the right and give Nkunku that role. Because remember, 3 seasons running, he was Bundesliga top goal scorer.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he specifically liked how he, and a lot of people in the fan base talk about it, but I don't think they liked how he worked off the ball. And when you saw him against Man City at home off the left, he hardly really he was all right, but he wasn't really, you could tell it wasn't really a position that I think we could see him at his best throughout the whole season, because from what's required off that wing, you see how Sancho is at the moment. He's got Sancho tuned up and down, get covering Cucurella, getting back up and down. You ain't going to get that from Nkunku, and then it's how do you get the best out of him where, we know he's good on the ball, but off the ball where we don't suffer off the ball. So how do you fit him in that without the actual team suffering? And the only answer to it, in my opinion, is Cole Palmer's position, but he won't drop Cole Palmer.
No, I'm saying move Palmer to the right. And
rightly so, bro. Rightly so. Cole Palmer's our best creator. He's got to stay in his best position, bro, in my opinion.
But also, sorry, quickly, John. Maresca was asked this very question, what you posed, right, in the presser before this Bournemouth game, where he was asked about, would you switch Cole out to the right and play an Nkunku or Felix in the 10? And he said that basically, if he switches Palmer to the right and there's an overlapping fullback, his point was, well, Palmer just ends up centrally anyway. So why would he put him on the right hand side? But I agree that we should maybe try something different. But clearly the manager doesn't think that's the way. He obviously thinks it.
Why can't we see a pair of Jackson and Nkunku for just a 20 minutes?
I was just going to say that as well. Remember under Poch, right, in the pre-season, how good the Jackson and Nkunku link-up was looking, and basically due to circumstances,
what it is though.
We never saw
what it is, though, Charlie, for me, because Nkunku crashes the box. And he actually occupies areas that Jackson is usually relied to do. And do you know what? The one thing Palmer ain't that great at doing, even though he scored a couple goals, crashing the box. He doesn't crash the box enough for me.
He done it quite a lot last season.
So the thing you guys are saying now, I've already looked
Let me read this quickly, Jacob, before you come in. Let me read this quickly before you come in. Yes, this is the buy-in director. He confirms that the Nkunku deal is complicated. He says we have a squad that is sufficiently equipped in terms of quantity and quality. We have no interest in doing anything in January. We are extremely happy with our squad. And I saw Tell yesterday. He got an assist when he came off the bench as well. But yeah, it's looking like this Nkunku deal is kind of up in the air right now, bro. What was he going to say there, Gabriel?
No, I was going to say all of these points, both the chat and you guys are making on the panel, I've always looked at it and I've already analyzed. I'm just thinking, right? Just hear me out for a minute. If we had gotten Nkunku somehow into the squad, half of these things that we're seeing, we wouldn't be having these issues. We probably still have the defensive issues, but he would cover up for Jackson. He would help Jackson because he would play as that second striker, like Jem said, crashing the box. We could get Palmer to come in off the right because he played off the right. You could tweak the system where you could get the better out of Gusto playing as a natural right back, playing balls back, cutting back balls in the boxes, playing crosses, having that late run into the boxes. It's just he's kind of rigid and stubborn, and I don't want Nkunku to leave feeling like we haven't done enough.
Did you not remember what Maresca said? Do you not remember what Maresca said about Palmer playing on the right? And it was a recent conversation again. He said the reason that you don't see me putting him on the right, even though he can play on the right, is because he finds himself back in the middle.
Charlie just said that.
Which is random, isn't it?
He just drifts back in.
Yeah, but
the
reason
go on, give your take.
The real reason was because he said that in the press comments itself. He said that I don't like overlapping fullbacks. I don't like traditional fullbacks. That's the reason why he doesn't like to do that. Because if Palmer's going to go wide, we all know he's going to do that to then move inside, which we all want because it accommodates another attacking player and ideally Nkunku, who we know can finish. But it's just unfortunate that for Nkunku's career at Chelsea, it really just panned out in like the worst way possible because he was signed pretty much as going to be the main kind of number 10 / second striker, but then he got injured in that season. We then go and sign Felix in January on a loan, so that was kind of him taking up Nkunku's position. And then in that following summer, then we signed Palmer to actually play as the number 10. So that kind of took Nkunku out of the recognition that he can play in this system. And it's unfortunate because even in this system, Nkunku for me isn't a good. He's an okay number 10, but he's not really a number 10 in my opinion because he doesn't want to come like show for the ball to feet and like dictate play and playmate like that. He's more just a final action player. So he needs to be in a system where he can play off of a focal point. But we don't have a focal point. We only have one number 10, and this number 10 isn't even getting subbed up for a minute. So it's
but the way that Palmer's utilised next to Jackson is pretty much playing as a centre forward a lot of the times. And even in the last game round, you see Palmer and Jackson both on the last defenders occupying them, and then one coming deep, and then the next one coming deep, and they took
a lot of work dropping deep to link up and help us break through a press. And Nkunku just doesn't really do that. Even it's weird because he came up through the academy as a midfielder at PSG, but and early days at Leipzig too. But he doesn't want to do much midfield work anymore, and off the ball he doesn't want to do much running. And I feel like his off the ball work isn't as bad as what we see now. I think it's just mainly as bad because he's just disillusioned with the team. He's kind of essentially down tools because he was our best player by far in pre-season and he can't get a sniff. First game you're put on the wing, second game you're dropped, and you haven't really seen the Premier League minutes since from the start. So
I think he's just checked out, so we're not seeing the best of him in anything he does.
Quality player, but here he's too niche to work in this system. So
he just been a bit.
To be fair, I wasn't even really impressed with him in pre-season. I know he was getting a lot of the minutes.
He was good. He was good.
When I was watching him in midfield, I wasn't overly impressed. Like for me, in those pockets, I think Felix is better than him, Charlie. Like taking the ball in a half turn and that, and like taking us from A to B. I think Felix is better than that. But in terms of the end product, the finishing, Nkunku's clear of Felix, 100%.
Yeah. Don't you remember that one dribble he did when he scored a penalty? But that was off of him dribbling, doing like some Hazard level dribble. Like I get it.
Oh, was it the Conference League? I think.
No, that was in pre-season.
There was one in pre-season as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
So I get what you mean, though, Don. Like he doesn't actively look to dribble a lot, but I'm saying when he does go for certain things, he can do crazy things. And he was doing overhead kicks and having made quite a few chances, and he got obviously quite a lot of G8 in pre-season. So I thought he was quite impressive. It's just a shame how it panned out because again, we all agree that he's a top talent, and he's still our second best attacker in terms of his overall skill set. But his skill set is quite niche, and it needs to be in a second striker system, which we just don't have.
Yeah, he's just a victim of circumstance at the end of the day. Like, he signed, injured for 4 months. We then signed Cole Palmer. Palmer does better than anyone thought he would have done. The real big problem, I think, for Nkunku would have been it was the signing of Felix, because he could have played as a second option to Palmer, right? All right, he still wouldn't have got that many minutes, but I think what's really finished him was the Felix signing.
Yeah, 100%. And let me read the super chat here. Big up Assad as well for the donation. It says, this manager's on food watch. We better win the next game to move game to move Palmer back on the right and Felix in the 10. I'm gonna go back to that super chat in a sec, but let me read Brian's one as well. Big up Brian. It says any gaffer they bring in won't trust the squad. For now, bro. Listen, they're not gonna. Maresca's not gonna get sacked, but what they need to do is work closely together to make sure that they're on the same page. So we're not having situations like this. But what I want to speak about now, Javon, let me go to you first, because this is a player that we've bigged up. You know what I'm saying? We would not be having these conversations about moving Palmer back to the right if Neto and Madueke were performing right now. Those two, the Cramp Twins. I'm starting to call them the Cramp Twins now. Yeah, bro. Who's Cramp Twins in our
Will be and will done.
Now it's them. You know what I mean? So listen, I don't think Madueke was terrible the other day. I thought, you know, in the first half, he created a very good chance for Jackson. Again, the pass was shit, but you can see that the intention was good. You know what I mean? Overall, was using mainly our left. Like Sancho, first half, absolutely cooked. Yeah, he was cooking in the first half. But if you notice in the second half, Sancho and Madueke, they weren't really involved in the game much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
the
you
game
can really only analyze from the first half.
Yeah, they weren't really involved in the game. So this wasn't really a game where I was going to be like, oh, Madueke had a shit game. I don't think he had a shit game. I just think that we didn't really use the wingers enough in the second half, especially. You know what I'm saying? But right now, all right wingers, bro. All right wingers.
Neto came on, it was worse, bro. When Neto came on, he was worse. He couldn't even control a ball, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Listen, it's on both of them respectively and respectfully. Neither of you guys are pulling up trees. This was what this runoff form was an opportunity for one of you guys to solidify the starting spot. Whether the chat may like it, whether I may like it, whether Don and the panel may like it, it's whoever can get a runoff form going, being consistent in providing goals and assists. And I know the assist part is kind of up in debate because if they don't convert the chances, it will never be an assist. But performing good actions to be able to solidify that spot. And brother, can't believe I'm saying this, but the two of them are dog shit. Absolute crap. Right now, I can't get brother, start Reece James out there. Give him 20 minutes, let him get injured again and go. Because it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. And at this point, look at it this way. Sancho, who had a falling out at Manchester United, right? Went to Dortmund, came back, was up in the air, is brought to us on loan for 25 mil, is probably our most consistent winger right now. Do you know how mad that is? Sancho is the only one we can rely on that week to constantly do something, right? At this point, what do we do? I've lost words. I don't even know what to say. What do we do? What do we do, people? Guys, what do we do? You tell me what do we do. Because we can't sell two people.
Charlie, about to come in. Go on, Charlie.
I was going to say, right, I agree that we need more output from the wingers. Two things on Neto specifically. If people wanted a goal-scoring winger, then Neto wasn't a guy to sign because he's not a goal-scoring winger. Yeah, okay, he needs to add goals to his game, but he's never been that guy. He's been someone that creates, puts loads of balls into the box. Neto is struggling because we haven't got a striker with box presence. His balls that go into the box is useless for Jackson because he's not good in the air and he's not that sort of striker. I can guarantee, right, if let's say we sign a Delap, watch how much more productive Neto comes and watch how much look how different a conversation will be around Neto if you've got a striker who is able to convert his crosses that he puts into the box. And I think it's the same for all the wingers almost. You know, the amount of balls...
it's going to be about everybody's going to improve with a better striker.
The thing is, Charlie, this is the thing though. You're spot on. You're spot on when you say that. You're right, bro. Neto does whip in some good crosses, but guess what? We ain't got a striker, blood.
Well, exactly. You're signing wingers that don't suit how we like. We're signing wingers that suit putting a ball into the box for a striker, and we don't play like that.
Exactly. But my issue with Neto is this. It's not like Neto doesn't know how to attack the box. Because I was telling Ads and Jimmy this in the group chat. I said, bro, one of the first things I look at with wingers, this is what I really like Esteval, is how are you attacking the box, right? I want you to get into the box because that's where you're going to have a better chance to score. Because when you're in the box and you have an opportunity to score, the XG is higher, right? Because the chance is a better chance, right? When you're in the box, you can create chaos, bro. You can pop off a shot, you can score. You can pop off a shot, it comes off of someone, it hits someone's hand, you get tackled, you get fouled, you can pop it off to someone. You can create so much chaos in that box. And for me, Neto isn't using the skill set that he's got to attack the box enough. He's just doing one thing, which is just crossing. And I look at him and I'm like, you're quick, you're skillful, you're nippy, and you know how to put your foot through the ball. So why am I only seeing you crossing the ball? Why am I only seeing one skill set when you've got all these other skill sets, bro? It's not making sense.
Really cool question to you guys. Do you think that's an instruction from the manager?
It could be that.
Because we've seen him beat people 1v1. We've seen him take shots. We've seen him cut in and take that shot before.
Why would we transition? Let's take the first half, for example, right? From what we saw, the first half, which we all like to see, yeah? We want to see that for 90 minutes, yeah? That's how we want to be playing, yeah? In the way that we move the ball, as quick as we move the ball from Lavia to Enzo or Palmer to then what happens next? Finding your wingers, right? Why would the instruction not be to be direct and get past your guy and and whoever's in the attacking space is not to crash the box? I don't think it's an instruction. I just think that sometimes they're just not doing what they're meant to be doing. Like, it's just you look at them sometimes and the quality levels, their consistent levels are just not there. When Neto came on the pitch, man was knocking the balls out for throw-ins and stuff. I was thinking, what are you doing, bro?
But I only answer questions. But I only because I can't understand why
he was slapping himself in the head when the camera went him. He was going like this, like hitting himself and stuff, like because he knew he weren't performing to where he needed to be. But listen, I thought Madueke was all right the first half. Personally, I thought he gave Kirkes a lot of problems. I think the first 5 odd minutes, Kirkes, we was doing all right on him, and then I thought, Madueke's going to get him soon. And then we started moving the ball quicker, because they were pressing so high, and we was finding the wings. And Madueke was one of the guys that we were obviously using to be very direct, and he had him at that point. But then the second half for me isn't just about the wingers, even though the performance wasn't there. The second half for me still is the fact that from top to bottom, how quickly we just lose control of the game. And it's because individuals around the pitch have all just switched off. Jackson was anonymous. Lavia had the nightmare 5 minutes that was awful.
Bro,
I thought Sancho was okay.
I think at half time, I think they invited Bonnie Blue. Because that was a man that looked like he had no energy. Something was let off.
How many times before these lot of games that we've had in the last 5, right? How many times have we actually sat here and said we've had a really shit second half? Because we were performing very well second halves. I remember them going in and coming out and just killing games off and playing to this next level. And I was like, this is what we've been missing. This is why Maresca's here, because what's he doing? He's getting them up to speed and playing at the same levels in second halves, and he's utilizing his blimmin' bench because the man was making substitutions at right times back as well. Yeah, and early as well. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of, for me, it's just a bit of both, He needs to just, it's annoying. It really irritates me, mate. Like, he needs to just be a bit more proactive, So
where do we go from here then, Ads? Where do we go from here this January right now? Because obviously we're seeing that Chalobah got recalled back to the team. Actually, let me get your take on Chalobah as well. What do you think about Chalobah being recalled back, bro? Do you think that was the right decision, or do you think we should have gone and got better than that?
Yeah, if I may, I will just have my say on the wingers quickly because this right wing headache is serious. And first start, I completely disagree that they're bad twins in the sense that they're both performing completely bad and underwhelming. I feel like there's one that's clearly underwhelming way more, and that's Neto. With Noni, yes, he's super frustrating in the game. You can watch him make some really bad decisions, or again that assist for Jackson where he put it over the bar, great wing play. Like the way he breezed past Kirkes and the defender was great, but then the end product, the composure to find the right way to pass was poor. And Noni will give you those moments over a game. I understand that completely, and we need more from Noni because he's the winger profile wise that can give us the most impact in this team because he can score goals for himself. He can create moments of quality out for himself. Whereas Neto, he's almost so reliant on there needs to be a box presence that he can actually just automatically just go turn in and whip across and all of that, but. That seems like that's all that he has to his game because you mentioned it before, Don, about he's fast, he's nippy, he's skillful. He's fast, but skillful. I'm not seeing the skill. Like, in Wolves, when there's oceans of space and transition, you can run at players, cool, but it feels like all he's got to his game is just a bit of a kick and run. And I'm sorry, when you're the most expensive attacker, the most expensive acquisition we made in the attack over the last 24 months, we need way more pressure, way more expectation on this guy. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist. And we're almost in February. That's not good enough. And I keep thinking about the fact that in the summer, we were linked to and we were pursuing a certain French right winger who was balling out in this very league, way better than what Neto was doing at Wolves. And I'm sorry, if we got Elise into this team, I get Jackson's been doing this, that, and the third. I get our defense is doing this, that, and the third. But I'm sorry, Elise still has us in a title race. I'm sorry, he does. That's how much of a difference he would be to what Neto's doing. So right now, Neto has to perform because he asked what we're going to do in January. We can't bring Esteval. I can't expect us to go and sign another £100 million winger, but you have to eventually do what we have. And do I think there's more to get out of Neto? Yes, there is more to get out of Neto. So he has to rise it. Noni has to rise it. Sancho's going to have to keep rising it because there's no depth there because, again, Mudrik's taking himself outside of the equation. So it's mad, man. It's mad. But, again, on Chalobah, again, it's the club making a mistake. And then, now they've accepted they made a mistake and they're bringing the guy back in, which is cool. By all means, but we were all saying it in the summer. Like, pretty much the majority of us were saying that this guy has a better place in the squad than Disasi. Those reporters' quotes on all these briefings that they're talking about, oh, Chalobah can't really fit in the system, but what do you mean he can't fit in the system? But
like, 6 months later, he can.
Yeah, but he can. And you didn't realize Disasi can do that? Like what are you on about? So it was
all down. We know where it was, damn. It was all down to profit. We spoke about this at the time. You know what I mean? Chalobah gives you straight profit, whereas Disasi, listen, based on those performances we saw last year, bro, we probably even fucking lose money. You know what I mean? So that's how they kind of looked at it. And we all disagree, bro. I don't rate Chalobah like that, Ads, before you come in, bro. I don't rate Chalobah like that. I think for me, he's always a moment away from a bozo moment. Yeah? If you guys watched the game against Arsenal, when Palace were moving like jolt men in the cup game, yeah? He was moving like a bozo in that game. Against Wolves, he had some crazy moment. You're not really hearing much of it because it's at Palace, and no one really watches Palace like that. But I'm showing you, I've been seeing it. I'm telling you, bro, Chalobah, he scares me. That's why I liked it when Silva was playing with him, because Silva's that big bro. Silva was helping him out last season when they were playing together. They were probably our best pairings towards the end of the season. But for me, bro, I'm still underwhelmed. Like, he's coming back cool. He's got Premier League experience, but he's just a decent player. He's nothing more than that to me, bro. I still don't really rate him like that. I'll be real, man. But he's definitely better than Disasi. That I know. He's definitely better than Disasi.
He's better than Tosin as well.
To a degree, yeah, I prefer Tosin's profile just being a bit more physical and that. And again, that's why I don't like this collection of centre backs, because you have a lot of good backup dancers, and there's nothing wrong with being a good backup dancer. But eventually, you need a main singer, you need a main alpha centre back, and we don't have that. So that's why it's frustrating seeing Levi, who I think will be a great backup to like a great support in centre back to a leader, a John Terry type, a Van Dijk type, a Rudiger type. We don't have that. That's why it's frustrating. But again, it comes back to these directors, because again, all these moves that we're making, it's about PSR and getting the most amount of profit and all this nonsense. And yet we can all look at the squad. Everybody wants to criticize us by saying you spent over $1 billion and all this nonsense, which is true. We have spent over $1 billion. And yet we haven't got a backup striker. We have when we're struggling in midfield, we can't bring on a midfielder to change the game. And right now on our centre back situation, we've signed like 17 centre backs, and we haven't got one that we can say is like the top level of his game. We can't. So it's madness.
The fact is, for me, and it stands like this: we shouldn't have signed Disasi and Badiashile for 78 million combined. And at the end of the day, I'd rather keep Chalobah in this team than have them. And that's just my opinion. And also, when you look at what he can bring to this team, and in a Maresca profile, we can play a natural three at the back now comfortably. Because guess what? He can play in the natural three at the back comfortably. Yeah. So, if he wants to go down that route, he can do that. He gives us versatility. Disasi, if we're playing the back four, Disasi right back or Chalobah right back? Yeah. Is there any like really true and don't get me wrong, Chalobah's not amazing. We've seen him play right back in the past when he's been asked to at the bridge and stuff. We've seen it. But it's still preferred Chalobah in that position, in my opinion. I think he just offers a bit more, and I think it makes a lot more sense to do this now to then get to summer, because what I think they will probably do is they'll probably expect, and we'll see Maresca to utilize him in the next upcoming months before the windows come in. But it may even help his market value, because he might probably go in the summer still. I just think he's come in to help us right now, because we need that. We need someone with a bit more.
Hold on, Charlie, before you come in, let me go through the likes. So we've got 220 people in the house, got not even 100 likes, people, 78 likes. What are you not doing, man? You know what I'm saying? What are you lot doing? This is some Jackson conversion rate, like Jimmy said. You know what I mean? You know, like I said to you before, when you come to people's yard, you take off your shoes, you go in there with your socks on. When you step in over here, Blue Diaries, you just press like straight away, blood. You know what I mean? But make sure, man. We've got AJ joining us now as well. I'll come to you in a second, AJ. But Charlie, go on. Land your take.
I was just going to say quickly, right? We've done a lot of good recruitment, but we have to be honest, right? Some areas, the volume of players we've brought in and the situation that we're in, particularly in goal and in central defence, it's shocking. As Jem highlighted, we spent over 70 million on Disasi and Benoit Badiashile. Chalobah better than both of them. Tosin's coming on a free. Chalobah is better than I don't care what anyone says, Chalobah's better than Tosin. So 3 of the last 4 centre-backs that have arrived at the football club, someone we've been actively trying to get rid of for 2 years, is better than. How are we getting to them? How are we reaching those decisions where you're exiling a player, right? And then the ones you're bringing, that you're spending money to bring other centre backs in, and they're worse than the guy you're trying to get rid of. It just don't make sense. Disasi, 40 million quid, not even going to last 2 seasons. Tosin's a free, whatever, fine. I actually haven't got a problem with Tosin. If Tosin was a legit 4th choice centre back, I actually haven't got an issue with him being in the squad. Problem is, he's being used way more. Fofana is good, but he's always injured. And so actually, really, right now, the 2 best centre-backs at the football club, despite all the money you've spent, have cost you nothing.
That's the thing. And for me, yeah, I see a lot of people, they're, look how Trevor has been treated and that. I get it, people. Like, yes, I know a lot of people hate the sporting directors. For me, listen, I'm not going to lose my head. I've criticized them when I need to, and I've given them praise when I need to. For me, I think people are overdoing this Chalobah mistreatment thing because they don't like the directors. We should be getting better than Chalobah. The issue here, AJ, is what Charlie's saying, the recruitment in the Disasi. Because if we had better than Disasi, yeah, then we wouldn't be fucking talking about Chalobah the way we were, bro. The way we are, sorry. If we're putting a proper centre-back, no one's going to be bothering about Chalobah like that, bro. And let's be real about it as well, yeah? He's our player. He's our player. I'm seeing people saying, what's this and that, bro. Listen, it's emergency settings right now. Bear man are injured, yeah, and he's still under contract. So we triggered that clause to bring him back. He's fucking our player, blood.
bro. Oh, sorry.
I agree with you. I really agree with Charlie too. I was really on the Chalobah thing of, why are we letting go of this guy? He may not be the best center back that we have, but he's proven to give value to the team in multiple positions, especially on that right side. Once Fofana went down this season, that right side has been a problem. Big problem. And this guy, he could have been used, but, we're not using him.
100, man, 100. What do you think about this whole thing anyway? Like, is it embarrassing to you, AJ?
What?
Like, bringing back Chalobah?
Embarrassing? No, I don't really. I mean, I'm not viewing it like that. I don't think really we should care about that type of stuff. I mean, maybe if you're the sporting director or if you're in those roles, maybe they'll care. But I mean, at the end of the day, as a fan, we just want the team to win, bro. We need a profile in that area. I think Achimpong is capable of doing it, but I guess with the Disasi leaving, then you still need a body in there, I guess. So, I guess you got to bring him back. But like we said, we want an alpha big dog center back. And when are we going to get that? When is that going to happen?
Facts.
When's the striker going to happen? My thing with the sporting director and the management now is we've done the project stuff. We've done the youth stuff. We've created a good foundation of that in the club. It's time to bring in the pillars of the club now, the top striker, the top center back, the top goalkeeper. You're not going to get nowhere if you don't have those three positions. Look at all the title winners of the last 20 years. They all had a top goalkeeper. They all had a top center back. They all had a top striker. That's what it takes to get over the line. You're always going to be in that top 4, top 6 battle if you don't have those difference maker players. And we haven't had that since Hazard and Costa. You understand? 2017. How long ago is that? We're going on 8 years now. You understand? It's been too long. So, I want to see a changing of the philosophy from the and not even really a changing, just a evolving of it. This project is fluid. We see that the youngsters have brought us here, but the team clearly needs a different element in the team, which is a mentality, an experience, a know-how, a damn near guarantee that this guy's going to get me 15 goals. This guy's definitely getting me 20 goals. This guy is definitely getting me 10 clean sheets. Something like that. So until we get there, we're just going to be doing this shit. So
now hear it, man. Javon, you're about to say something. AJ, I'll come back to you in a second as well, actually, because I got a question for you. But go on, Javon, you're about to land the point, bro.
Yeah, you were saying you don't care because he's our player, but yeah, bro, I'm looking at it from 2 perspectives: the sporting director's perspective and Chalobah's perspective. It's an indictment on the sporting directors because we cannot overlook it to say, oh, you're gonna free someone out the squad the way you did. You're gonna not send him on preseason, even if you wanted to sell him. You could have used preseason to advertise him, but you didn't do that. Froze him out the squad, put him to train with the under 21s, put him out on loan because you got no suitors to send him, and then just because you're in hot water, you're going to call him back. It would be different. I hear what you're saying. If you just went on loan, if it was maybe recovering from an injury, we didn't have enough game time to give him and put him on loan. But given all of that factors, it says to me that the sporting director is incompetent. Simple and that. Because we all could have told you that Chalobah was better than the other two numpties that's there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And from a Chalobah perspective, my guy just wanted to play for his boyhood club. You told him no. You disgraced him. How you look to him family right now? I know these things shouldn't matter, but at the same time, they can play a role if when he comes back in his performance. What if he comes in and then privately they say to him, "Oh, you're only going to be here for 6 months." If I'm him, I'm not going to put out my hour for this club, knowing that they're going to treat me even worse than they did before. So these little intangibles can in turn affect how players play. So that's why it's somewhat of an importance. But
I hear it. I do hear it. And for me, the biggest issue that I've got is how these sporting directors, right? They basically put all their cards on the table and were hoping that Fofana would stay fit all season. Because if Fofana wasn't injured right now, we would not be bringing Chalobah back. Do you get it? They're taking too many gambles, too many risks. You're hoping that Jackson gets all these goals. You're hoping that Fofana stays fit. You're hoping that Reece will stay fit. And I'm like, bro, we ain't got time to be taking all these risks, bro. You gotta be able to cover yourself right now. You know what I'm saying? Because top 4 is a fucking must, Gem. I can't be watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching that shit again, bro. I don't want that. That's
and the mad thing is,
I'm not too fussed on the people. This, that, why? It's Chalobah. Bro, listen, he's our player. That's the facts. He's our player. We can bring him back. My biggest thing is they put too much on Fofana not getting injured. Yeah. And that was a big risk in itself, bro. Because Fofana, when you even look at his legs are inverting, bro. They're inverting. You know what I'm saying? They're fucked. You know what I mean?
Bro, I think I told you the other day. I said it somewhere. Like in the summer, the decisions we took, we actively made our defense worse in terms of the options at centre back. We made it worse. Thiago Silva went out. Tosin came in to take that place in the team. Chalobah went out. Disasi stayed. All right, you got Fofana back. But actively, as a pool of centre backs, the decisions we took in the summer, we went into this season with a worse pool of centre backs than conceded a record amount of goals last season.
The quality levels. The issue with it, this is what I'm saying, we're spending money. With the quality levels from where it was to what it is now. When Fofana gets injured, because when Fofana was playing, it was Colwill Fofana. Yeah, this is what we knew, but we all knew Glass Legs was going to have a moment. It's just him and Lavia and Reece James that seem to struggle to keep themselves fit. But then as soon as you lose him, it's the levels just drop dramatically. You know, that's a problem. You're spending money to bring in depth, and we all said here, oh, we've got quite a good squad depth. You know, we've got centre backs, we got midfield. All right, we haven't got striker. You know, we've got good squad depth. Chelsea, we have, but the squad depth, we might have the numbers, but the level of quality isn't there. Like
the Conference League, the quality of the Conference League masks over the deficiencies of how good these players actually are. Like when you actually need them against decent level of opposition, too many of them aren't of the required standard.
Facts.
No, 100%, bro. And right now, I'm just even seeing here, yeah, you've got, fucking hell, man. You know, Omar Mamouche, yeah, this guy, we've got the here we go from Fabrizio to Man City. And this is what I kept fucking saying as well. Yeah. This is what I would say. I said, bro, by the time we play Man City, a day after my fucking birthday, these men would have made some signings. This guy's on his way. Yeah. That centre back, the young kid's on his way as well. He's on a plane right now. On his way to
and that Vita Reese, both centre backs and this guy.
Active, man.
Yeah,
they're
bro.
Active.
So between now and when we play Man City, bro, I better see some signings, blood. Yeah, because I'm not liking what I saw today. I saw this today. Yeah, I saw this today. Ads from Matt Law. I don't even know why he amended this. Why the fuck did you have to amend this, bro? Told that Chelsea are not negotiating to buy Adeyemi for January or summer. They have a list of forwards and wingers they've made contact on, right? Adeyemi could be an option on loan if nothing else comes
off.
Bro,
that's peak. If nothing else comes off, you just go, like, that's like sort of going around the shop, innit? And then, like, you can't afford anything. You just pick something out the fucking reduced section and then that'll do. Like,
you're spending money for spending money's sake. It's
Yeah,
spending money for
exactly.
spending money's sake. Bro.
I need to leave with something.
Well,
I'll
they
just
said
get
it's a
something here.
loan. They said it's a loan if nothing comes up. So it's.
Have
what's
you
wrong
seen
with
this guy's? He
don't
joins Lavia and Reece James and
If
all
you
them.
don't want him, that's
Have
a
you seen
different
his injury
issue
list?
than us doing something, you know. But we need
No,
a
no.
player.
But my point is, have you seen his injury list? This guy. Go and have a look at his injury list.
Adeyemi's
Go and
injury
have
report.
a look.
Let me check it
You
right now.
think Lavia and Fofana's bad? Yeah. Go and have a look at this.
Well, Don,
guy.
while you check again, the analogy that Charlie made was literally perfect. Like you're just spending for the sake of spending, and cool, it's a loan. That's fine. It's not permanent, but at the same time, like get the profiles that we need. Adeyemi brings nothing new to the squad. We have it in other players.
Well, it's a Mudryk replacement.
Here's the thing.
It's a Mudryk replacement.
Ages.
But hold on. When you look at it, we just spoke about City. City are doing things to improve their first team.
Oh my god!
I can't necessarily say these players we're linked to are going to come in and immediately up the levels. There may be another body, which is a different conversation. Talking about things up the levels.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's a problem when
Charlie said earlier in the stream that like our window was awful, and like I was like, damn, that's harsh, but it kind of is true. And if you look at the signings that we made in the summer, again, like you just said, Javon, a lot of the signings were just done to bolster the squad. There you go, bolstering the squad. Other players bolstering the squad. Dewsbury Hall and all this stuff. Just squad stuff. But look at the guy who's meant to actually come into better the first team, Neto. He hasn't really done that. So again, I don't want him to be seeing Adeyemi's and again, if we get Tell or whatever, in, I guess it's a reason for Mudryk. But I want to see guys come in and better the actual first freaking team because you don't spend $1 billion plus to then just be okay and manage the squad. No, we have Cobham. We have the best academy arguably in the world. So we don't need to be using
at the same time, as I get that, I hear the point that you're making, but at the same time, we have to remember that last season, right, we were missing a lot of our key players due to injury, right? That's the reason why this summer they went into bolster the squad because a lot of those key players that would have been starting, the likes of Lavia, the likes of Nkuku, the likes of Fofana, these were our starters last season, but we didn't see them. So that's why I can understand why they were trying to bolster the squad because the people that were meant to be starting for us, they were actually fit this time round. Do you get it? But it's just the level, the quality of the guys in the
squad with players that A, aren't good enough, and B, the manager clearly doesn't rate because you don't use any of them. So there's obviously no collaboration here because you've got players that have been bought in that aren't good enough and players the manager clearly didn't want.
Thank you, Charlie. Because I was just about to say that. And another point to add to Charlie's point. You can bolster our squad, but sign players that are on the verge of becoming first team players. You can sign players that are going to come in and push players. Sell it to them like, hey, you're going to be rotational or you're going to be an important player. But based on your performances, if you live up to par, you can push for a starting spot. We don't have to sign duds just for signing.
No. But that's what we're doing right now. Wait, let me jump in there. Isn't that what Adeyemi is? A player that would be pushing for a first team. So you just
shouldn't be.
Not necessarily.
He shouldn't be.
Okay,
And I rate Adeyemi.
But that's the problem. But that's what I'm saying. The problem is we're just saying, oh, we want to improve the first team, but then we're saying we want to let's at least sign somebody that's going to push. It's either or. We either sign the top player or we work with what we have.
Or we do what I keep saying, which is sign the right profile of players, which we don't tend to do because you can, like we've done with the centre backs, we could just keep signing guys. Let's keep signing wingers and centre backs and whatever else, and just make them numbers so that we've got options when people get injury in that. But it's not about that. You know, that guy's got a list of 3 pages of injuries, man. I know he's only alone.
It's not even about that. Adeyemi's end product still needs improving. It's on the level of what we have now. So that's why I'm saying it's not going to improve us at all.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? And this is what I go back to when people are getting all gassed up about Matthias Tell, right? Don't get me wrong. Great talent. Could be a top player. We're at the point now, we do not need to be signing any more guys with potential. Go and get me positions that actually need to be filled with guys that are actually ready to come in and do a job right now. We don't need any more potential / development signings. We don't need any of them. Go and address what needs to be done.
I agree.
100%. Look at this right here, AJ, bro. He was ill. Torn muscle fiber, rest, muscular problems, ligament tear, ill, torn muscle fiber, foot injuries, even got a toe here. Man's even got tonsillitis. Bro, it's peak. It's peak. I don't want to be seeing that.
But if
22.
you actually look at it though, there was only like 2 long-term injuries. A lot of them was like 9 days, 10 days.
Still availability though.
So, but I hear you. I'm still with you. I'm still with you on. I'm still with you on the fact that we need something different. But the problem is, we can't identify it here. Like nobody here has said who we should bring in.
You can.
So
Give me 5
minutes.
Not Carez.
Yeah, give me something. Because I've been asking.
You're spot on because people tell me this all the time. Bring me a top centre back.
Yeah.
Bring me a goalkeeper. Bring me a striker. Okay, cool. Name me the names then. Name me the left winger right now. That's realistic. I want a KK. Yeah, I wanted Karasavit, whatever his name is. Yeah, the KK. I'll call him KK. Right?
Yeah.
I wanted him. Yeah, him.
Careful how many Ks you put there, brother. Careful how many Ks you put there, brother. Yo.
And KK, okay. Hey. I wanted him. Yeah, but if you actually break it down, I was telling these the other day, Couch in the group chat, right? Because he was like, oh yeah, well, if we like with Tel, he wasn't really on it. I said, bro, apart from Salah in world football right now, he's the only OG winger. Everyone else is young, bro. Yeah. Rodrigo in the summer, he might be available, right? I saw the other day an article. Apparently, it's only now Ancelotti's realized that there's no balance in their squad. So one of them needs to get dropped. We've all been saying that if you watch Real Madrid, bro, Mbappe up top just doesn't work. He needs to be on the wing, right? He might be available in the summer if we can get him out. You've got obviously Vinicius is untouchable, right? All the other wingers, bro, Saka's under 25. All these wingers right now in football are young, bro. Yeah, so you're gonna be bringing in young guys, but a lot of them are experienced. So realistically, I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, who is there really left wing that we can bring in right now? Do you know what I'm saying?
You're telling me. Listen, there are names out there that the fan base won't unilaterally agree on, but if we're looking at certain profile and certain attributes and certain, I can't remember the word, but certain criteria, they fit that criteria, right? Cool. If you just broaden your horizon and look around, one, you have Nusa, who's better than Adeyemi finishing.
We were linked with Nusa, weren't we?
End product wise this season, he's been top, right? End product. In centre back, just for loan, just not even for loan for this season, free centre back, Milan Skriniar. Might not be on the top of the list for people, but guess what? Free, and he has played at better levels than Tosin did, and he has more experience and could probably guide some people at centre backs. Not because you can't name a couple of names, that doesn't mean I can.
No.
Thiago Silva.
What is Skriniar? What's Skriniar's age and that stuff? Because you have to work in a certain
his late 20s.
Okay, so if we're gonna take a,
that's what we're talking about.
Okay,
so
if we're gonna
list names, we could all list names, but it's what's a realistic target, like Don stated, that is attainable right now. That's what
I get that.
There's not a big. There's
Murillo,
not a big.
Linkovic. Bro, we're Chelsea football club. Murillo. Yeah. Linkovic, bro, I could go through names that are young.
They're not attainable in January, blood.
It's not attainable this month, is it?
What about attainable now? You can't do that.
Why are they attainable? Why can't Slotterbeck? Somebody just said Slotterbeck. Why isn't he attainable? We're doing these things to ourselves, bro. We can't keep accepting mediocrity for what they give us.
Does anyone think, right? Does anyone think very quickly?
I want the older centre back.
Would anyone take Mark Gurhey back 50 mil this month?
We take him back, but it's like we don't want that. That's not what we're looking.
No.
I'm not satisfied.
We don't want that.
I think Gay. Listen, for me, Gay is a good defender in it. He's a good defender.
It makes the team better.
I can depend on him more than I can depend on certain man.
I don't know what Gay level is. I cannot pinpoint his level, if I'm being honest.
If you get Gurhey world class or Euros, that's pretty good.
Say that again, Charlie.
If you get the Gurhey that played for England at the Euros, that's a good level defender. That is a decent player.
Yeah, but let's talk about our attack right now because our defense, we've brought back Chalobah, right?
Forget the defense.
Yeah, forget the defense for now, because we've brought back Chalobah. Anselmino's been brought back as well. I don't know what's going to happen there, bro. Is man just here for training? I don't know. Or to learn English?
The next big thing, he could be the leader. Who knows?
That's fine. That's cool. I think that's a good move. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously, Josh, he did it right the other day, innit? But in attack, that's what we need right now. We need some more firepower up there, bro, because it's either Jackson or Palmer or there's no one else, right? And it's bro, it's not long ago. It was Southampton where we had bare goal scorers, 5 different goal scorers, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't long ago, people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need some more firepower up there. For me, from what I'm seeing from Tel, this is a guy that's going to get in the box and just bang it in, right? I will welcome him to the club comfortably.
But he's not a natural striker, though, is he? He's a left winger that can play for
he's
the
a winger.
That's what we need, though. That's what we need, though.
He's a natural
Because
striker
remember,
of the ball. That's what he is. And
I
that's
know
what
he is.
Do you not think
I'm
we
so
need the
glad.
natural number 9? Like an
No,
actual
Yeah, we
No,
do.
he's not. He's
I'm
not.
talking about left. I'm talking about left winger because, like I said to you lot before, we need a left winger, and I'm glad that the club are looking to replace Mudryk. It looks like it's not looking good for Mudryk right now, right? Up top, Delap is someone I'm seeing the names floating about again potentially for this month. How realistic do you lot think that's going to be, boys? Do you think?
I think it's. Look, I would say it's difficult. I don't think it's impossible. If we legitimately pushed really hard for it, right? By all accounts, what everyone's saying is that he's open to the move to Stamford Bridge, not necessarily this month, but if we pushed hard, right? Let's say, look, that was 20 million in the summer, right, from Man City to Ipswich. He's done well. He's had a good 6 months. You probably say January tax, Ipswich don't want to lose him going down or whatever, and he's English. If I reckon you could get Delap for 50 mil this month, that is a 30 million pound profit on a player they signed 6 months ago. I know they need him to stay up, but are they going to really say no to that?
If we're going to spend that kind of money, I'd put another 10 on it and get Gyökeres, but that's just me.
But we're being realistic though, Jem. Like we'd all love Gyökeres, but we know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we're not linked to him.
Bro, he's going to leave there soon, isn't he?
He's got to leave. You got to ask the questions. What's the age? What's the profile? Like, what
would you guys say
number
to
one, he's 26 years old, Gyökeres, so he brings a bit of experience in that area for me personally. All right, he's playing in a league that people probably say isn't the greatest league in the world, and I fully understand that.
Success rate's decent from Portugal to Premier League.
Yeah, but I think he's profile specifically for me in how we play under Maresca is in my opinion. I've been saying even when the Victor Osimhen stuff was going on, I was still, even though I knew we weren't getting Gyökeres, I was still saying wish we could have just got Gyökeres. But that was just my opinion.
Been saying the Gyökeres for.
What would you guys say to triggering the 60 million cost for Osimhen to come from Turkey?
No, I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Okay.
You wouldn't take Osimhen? You wouldn't take Osimhen at this point?
Oh, bro, I'm shameless. I'll fucking take him, but he can fuck himself for now. You know what I mean? Third choice. Third choice, bro.
Why all of that energy?
Nah, because bro, the guy could have come. You know what I mean? He blew the chance.
And he chose money and would rather go Turkey. So fuck him.
Yeah,
that was more on his agent, though.
He didn't choose money. What's the narrative people are doing? He didn't choose money.
Oh yeah, here we go. Nigerian.
No, I'm not even gonna back the thing like that. I'm not gonna back that's I'm not getting drawn out like that. But listen, I agree with what people are saying, which is the premise that we need to sign a certain profile, right? That actually adds to what we have, not just fits in with something that we already have. We need something that adds. So 100%, if it's a Gyökeres, if it's an Osimhen, whichever, get that profile in. Delap too, get that profile in. But in terms of what we can actually do in this January window, do I see it happening? I don't know, especially if the Nkunku due to buy and stored now. We're not going to then sign a striker and keep Nkunku at the same time. It's not going to happen. So
we got to move someone out.
We do. And obviously we're going to replace Mudryk with Tel or maybe somebody else. But we still need a striker because I'm sorry, Tel. Cool, he's versatile, but I'm done with the versatile gimmick, bro. I don't care about if you can play multiple positions. It's all about where are you best and what at your best can you actually do to help the squad. So get a striker, man.
I was telling these lot as well. Like when I'm watching Tel up top, it's like I'm watching Nkunku. Yeah, he's more physical than Nkunku. Like he's taller than Nkunku.
Got a Liao frame, isn't it?
He's dropping into the midfield. I'm seeing him mid game. They're moving him right wing. He looks more comfortable there. They're moving him to the left. He looks more comfortable there.
Don, it will take one game of Chelsea fans watching Tel up front to be like, "Why did we sign him? Blah blah blah. Get me a proper striker." So we don't need to deal with all of that again. Don, remember this time last year, I was talking about strikers that I wanted us to get. I mentioned Taremi. I even mentioned Mateta, who again we could probably still go and get. And I mentioned a certain somebody at Nottingham Forest who people laughed at. They scoffed at. I said, this guy's a goal scorer. I don't care. His name's not fashionable, but he gets you goals. And right now, this season, man like Chris Wood is getting you goals. So
he did say it. He did.
Yeah.
But this is my thing, right? This is my thing, right? Because of how these sporting directors are working, we have this certain model where it has to be a certain young player that will come in for this price range and all this bullshit. Like, I get it. You can have that macro sort of like that's the major like system that we work with, but you gotta be able to bend and shift and do certain different things. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mess. Like what we're seeing right now, it's a mess.
Just quickly, Is anyone taking an Evan Ferguson loan deal? Not saying I would, but is anyone having that?
Yes.
He's a different
I want a
profile,
striker.
isn't he?
I want a
Yeah.
present striker. If we're not getting a top striker this winter, give me that. Give me
What type?
something like,
Let me ask you. Yeah. Let me ask you.
We can't go to the second half of
yeah.
the season with the options we have right now. We just cannot.
Let me ask you boys this then. What profile striker do you think suits how we play? Just at any of them. Just throw a name that is at the top of your
Jackson,
who's at the top of your list? Like
profile-wise, Delap fits perfectly what we're looking for.
You think Delap? Okay, but do you think Delap's a bagsman though? Do you think he can score enough goals? That's the only thing I'd say with Delap.
I haven't got enough evidence. I don't know.
Honestly,
that's my only worry with him.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
Yeah. Honestly, any physical striker with a better with a natural ball striking capability would
maybe box presence. We need someone that's good in the air. Someone's got to be.
I'm thinking about Sesko. I'm thinking about Sesko. That could be realistic. Delap, it's too late for Duran because I think they're just gonna hike up the price, especially if we go back after saying no in the summer. Gyökeres, those lot, bro. Maybe even Vlahovic, but that's an unpopular opinion. So,
bro, I'm just looking at it right now and I'm thinking, bro, Egbali, Egbali comes to a lot of the games, innit? And apparently he's actually like, proper into his football and that. There's no way man's gonna be just looking at Jackson missing and saying, yo, we don't need a striker, blood. There's things working in the background. We just don't know who. That's what it is.
We said that last summer though, and they ended up with Felix. So
that's because they wasted time on Osimhen now.
What happened last summer though? Remember they stopped going in for Osimhen, then they went back in for him, and then obviously that didn't happen in the end. So they did try and sign him, but it's just obviously he wanted more money and they weren't trying to break the wage structure for him. But for me, if it was to go in for an Isak in the summer, I can see us, paying over the odds, bro, because this guy's fucking quality. You know what I'm saying? He gets in front of
Don, you're 100% right. Don, you're 100% right. But you talked about the urgency that we showed at the end of that last transfer window. But what did we see in the last 6 months to then lead to this transfer window and we start it and we don't immediately go and get a striker? We haven't done that. So why has the urgency changed? Because Jackson was going into this window in poor form. We don't have a second striker that we can trust clearly in Nkunku or Guiu. So why have we not shown that urgency now? For me, it's negligence. It's negligence.
Let's be serious. None of us thought that he would use it. None of us thought that Nkunku would have been utilised how he is up to this point now. We would have thought Nkunku might have been able to help Jackson with goals because he will get the minutes, in my opinion, and he hasn't been able to play. So this is where the hole is, because Nkunku would give you goals with minutes.
100%, man. Let me quickly go through the super chat before we wrap up, people. I want to watch these fucking United boys. I got to eat some food as well, but I can't lie.
Is Leslie starting? Yeah, let me see this lineup.
But yeah, they're like 15th right now, bro. But let's see. You got Paul here. Big up Paul for the donation, bro. It says hypothetical, but if South American Kante gets injured, who is available and would fit in his role?
He's mad.
Considering Belgium team forever at the massage parlor. Go on, Charlie. I'll let you answer that one, man.
I was saying we spoke about this before. Caicedo injury, we're fucked.
Both of them. Enzo or Caicedo.
But more Caicedo, we're fucked basically if that happens.
We are fucked. That was to happen, bro. That's why for me. Listen, Andre Santos, I wanted him to stay this season as it was. Next season, it's a must, and he's gonna play. Don't tell me nothing about is he gonna play though, bro. He's gonna fucking play, bro. He'll play. Yeah, because mid-game when Caicedo's gassing out, you'll see Maresca and bring him on. Yeah.
This is another sign of the squad planning. We had KDH. Chukwuemeka and Cassidy, they all taking up spots in the squad, but none of them are providing any value to the squad. So it's like we got just dead spots in the team, but people want to complain about bringing Leslie back. Well, I don't get that. There's 3 dead spots.
I don't get it.
But we don't want to bring somebody back to
we should bring him back.
Something. That shit don't make sense.
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy says as well, flew or kill me, but me there. Big up my guys. Big up Jimmy, man. Hopefully you
big
get
up
better,
Jimmy, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy. But people, that flew by, man. That was a brilliant show, man. I know the other day we obviously was kind of rush because like I said, I had technical problems in that, but brand new laptop, you can see I'm not even lagging today, blood. You know what I'm saying? So
you can have 8K, mate.
Say that again?
Moving in that 8K.
8K, my connection was smooth today. Even when I was sharing, bro, the thing was smooth. You know what I mean? But Javon, love for hopping on last minute, my bro. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Follow me on the Finals podcast. I'm currently uploading a new episode with me and Gooni where we talk about all of this mess. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, up the likes on Don's channel. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, man, Wolves preview next, and then the sideline view from my channel. So up the likes and subscribe.
Make sure, people, man. Charlie, love for hopping on, my bro.
No, it's a pleasure as always, mate. No problem at all. Cheers for having me.
They don't know they can find you, G.
Oh, yeah. Literally find me Blue Rover CFC as it is on screen. Yeah, loads of transfer stuff going on at the moment. Wolves previews and that coming up. So, yeah, please feel free to subscribe.
Big up, man. Jem, let them know, bro.
Is Wolves our next game? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday night, mate. We're not playing this weekend.
It's Tuesday on me because I'm in.
I need a break. I need a break from Chelsea at the weekend, Charlie.
Yeah, Chelsea Fan TV match reactions, guys. You can come over there, check it out. Obviously, GNA TV. We're going to be revamping that soon, actually, as well. There'll be a bit of a switch up with all of that as well. So yeah, come and check us out, man. Big up, and big up to Don as well.
Big up, man. AJ. Love for hopping on my last minute. I know you're busy with work and that, my bro, but appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Big up. Just catch me on TikTok, NYC Chelsea Blues.
Big up, man. And ads, big up yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
You crooks from now on. Use some ointment, bro. Come like crooks.
Listen, today was a flu game, but I got through it, bro, man. But hopefully by the next show, I'll be feeling a bit better. I can come on cam. But yeah, my Twitter handle's there. And yeah, good show. But it's always better when Chelsea are winning games. So hopefully next time we're on, boys, it's a win. We need that.
We need to now.
That's what it's like.
100% people. And like I said, listen, this is London, 24th of January, people, yeah? Make sure that you're there. £10 tickets, you know what I mean? 7:45, going to be with Lee Gunner. You got, not Lee Gunner, sorry. Lee Judges, Dan Potts, Dan Lawless. You have D, the Palace fan, and there's Deji, the Spurs fan, and myself, obviously. So make sure that you buy these tickets so we can meet you lot in person, man. Big up. But listen, let's go watch these lot in a bit, people. Up the fucking Chelsea. Love.